Hi everyone, my name is Desiree Taylor, the Community Outreach Coordinator for One Place Family Justice Center right here in Montgomery, Alabama. We offer crucial and efficient services and resources to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault and rape, human trafficking, and child and elder abuse. Today, I want to talk a little bit about domestic violence as well as sexual assault. And if you or someone you know is a victim of any one of the areas I just mentioned, we are here for you and there is help available to you. Our number is 334-262-7378, or you can visit our website at oneplacefjc.org. A look into domestic violence and sexual assault. And before I begin, I want to thank the Morgan Memorial Library for allowing me to share this presentation with the city of Montgomery and all of the other patrons. What is domestic violence? Domestic violence is a deliberate pattern of controlling and coercive conduct that serves to deprive victims of safety and autonomy. Perpetrators or the abusers use abusive tactics to reinforce their rules, so to speak, and to maintain absolute power and control over their intimate partners or the abused. So with domestic violence, it's all about power and control. What is sexual assault? Sexual assault is any forced, coerced, unwanted sexual contact. And while there are some legal definitions to what rape and sexual assault are, sexual violence is best understood as a broader continuum of unwanted, non-mutual sexual activities that can range from subtle behavior to extremely violent. Sexual assault can include rape, sexual threats and intimidation, incest, sexual assault by intimate partners, child sexual abuse, human trafficking, sexual harassment, street harassment, and other forms of unwelcome, coerced, or non-consensual activity. And again, with sexual assault, the behavior is not agreed upon. And these definitions are coming from the Alabama Coalition Against Rape. One Place Family Justice Center has the Standing Together Against Rape, or STAR program, under its umbrella. The STAR program was founded in 1974 right here in Montgomery, Alabama, and it provided professional counseling and support to victims of sexual violence and rape. In April 2019, Standing Together Against Rape came to the One Place Family Justice Center, where we administer and operate its services. They provide forensic examinations to victims of sexual assault, as well as advocacy and support through crisis counseling, referral services, case management, and information such as safety planning and guidance, and also sexual assault awareness for the community and first responders. STAR expanded its sexual assault services to children. We offer pediatric acute sexual assault exams, and these were only available at one point at the Children's Hospital in Birmingham. But now we have the opportunity, the fortune of having these pediatric acute sexual assault exams available at One Place. Our STAR program also provides 24/7 exams for adults and children. STAR also has a 24/7 crisis hotline that is available, and we will share that number at the end of the presentation. Just some quick stats. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lifetime. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before they are 18. 20 to 25% of college women and 15% of college men will be victims of forced sex during their time in college. and 91% of victims of rape and sexual assaults are not reported to police. So it is important to not only report, but to educate yourself about sexual abuse and violence, as well as domestic violence. Now let's get into the types of domestic violence. There is psychological violence, emotional, physical, and sexual. Some examples of psychological violence include bullying, manipulation. The abuser will make the abused feel helpless, feel confused about the abusive behavior. And also, many times, the abused will second guess their abilities. Some examples of emotional abuse include verbal insults or assaults, ignoring, isolation, rejection, and also name calling. Physical abuse examples include punching, hitting, slapping, and choking. And let me also add that underneath psychological abuse, financial abuse is also a form of abuse. And an example of that would be when the abuser controls how money is spent, how money leaves the household, and also if the abused has money missing or credit cards charged. This is an example of financial abuse. I want to also mention that domestic violence and sexual assault, they're not the same, but the two can collide or intersect, especially in an intimate relationship. With sexual abuse, as we've already mentioned, that it is coerced and non-consensual behavior, the abuser may also force their abusee to use contraception or not use contraception during sex. The abuser may also make the partner have an abortion if he or she becomes pregnant, if she becomes pregnant. And a lot of times with domestic violence and sexual assault, persons believe that the victims can only be women, but men can also be victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Now let's get into some domestic violence stats. On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, this equals to about more than 10 million women and men. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have been victims of some sort of physical violence by their partner within their lifetime. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence by an intimate partner. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 18 men have been stalked by an intimate partner during their lifetime, to the point where persons may feel very fearful, or they feel like that person will harm them or possibly kill them. On a typical day, national domestic violence hotlines receive more than 20,000 phone calls. The presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk of homicide by 500%. Intimate partner violence accounts for 15% of all violent crime. Women between the ages of 18 to 24, some places say 16 to 24, are most commonly abused by an intimate partner. 19% of domestic violence involves a weapon. Domestic victimization is correlated with a higher rate of depression and suicidal behavior. Only 34% of people who are injured by their partners receive medical care for their injuries. Please note that domestic violence, it affects all of us, regardless of race, gender, age, income level, or sexual orientation. Anyone can be a victim. Domestic violence is not a single isolated attack, but it rather is a pattern of multiple tactics and repeat events. Worldwide, men who are exposed to domestic violence as children, they are 3 times more likely to be an abuser as an adult than men who did not experience domestic violence as children. Domestic violence has an economic impact as well. Victims of domestic violence, they have lost a total of 8 million days of paid work each year. The cost of domestic violence exceeds $8.3 billion a year, and between 21 to 60% of victims of domestic violence lose their jobs due to reasons stemming from abuse. Domestic violence has a mental health impact as well. Studies show that there is a relationship between domestic violence and depression and suicidal behavior. Physical, mental, and sexual, as well as reproductive health effects have been linked to domestic violence. And all of this information is coming from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Here are some teen and college dating violence stats as well. Nearly 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from someone that they date in a single year. 1 in 10 high school students have been purposely hit, slapped, or physically hurt by a boyfriend or girlfriend. Girls and young women between the ages of 16 and 24 have experienced the highest rate of intimate partner violence, almost triple the national average. Among female victims of intimate partner violence, 94% of those ages 16 to 19 and 70% of those aged 20 to 24 were victims by a current or former boyfriend or girlfriend. Violent behavior typically begins between the ages of 12 and 18. 1 in 6 college women has been sexually abused in a dating relationship. Nearly half of dating college women report experiencing violent and abusive dating behaviors. Being physically or sexually abused makes teen girls 6 times more likely to become pregnant and twice as likely to get a sexually transmitted infection. Half of youth who have been victims of both dating violence and rape attempt suicide, compared to 12.5% of non-abused girls and 5.4% of non-abused boys. And this is coming from loveisrespect.org. And that website has a lot of great information about dating violence. So now let's talk a little bit about what One Place Family Justice Center is. One Place Family Justice Center provides resources all under one roof to victims of domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, sexual assault and rape, human trafficking, child and elder abuse. And there are 3 justice centers in the state, Montgomery being the first, and then there is a justice center in Birmingham, Alabama, as well as Florence, Alabama. Our mission is to provide a comprehensive service and support center which affords greater safety, access to services, and confidentiality for victims and their families by co-locating services under one roof. One place is where victims can plan for their safety, they can have an advocate, they can talk with a law enforcement officer, they can meet with a magistrate, they can obtain info on community resources and receive sexual assault services. We provide resources and advocacy to not only the city of Montgomery, but to Autauga County, Butler, Chilton, Crenshaw, Dallas, Elmore, Lowndes, Perry, and Wilcox counties. And if you notice, there are counties that are starred, and those counties are where we provide the sexual assault services to children and adults. Now, the adult sexual assault services for Chilton County are available through Safe Shelby or Safe House. One Place's mission is supported through more than 20 local agency and community partnerships. Our on-site partners include the Montgomery Police Department, which gives specialized investigations and prosecution, on-site assistance with the criminal process and the court system. We have Legal Services Alabama and the Thomas Good Jones School of Law students that are available to help victims who need legal help with not only domestic violence issues, but with child support, custody, protection from abuse orders, and also wage garnishments, eviction and foreclosure prevention, community reentry, education, and also services for our veterans. And please note that there is an income eligibility requirement to receive legal services. But for more information, you can go to legalservicesalabama.org. The City of Montgomery, or the Magistrate Office, hears client and law enforcement complaints to make a probable cause for issuance of misdemeanor and felony warrants. And then we have our client intake specialists who are at the front desk and are able to conduct the intake process as well as offer off-site referrals. And below are some of our off-site partners. So thank you to all of our off-site and on-site partners who help to make our services available to the community. We are here for you. Know that love does not hurt, and you are not alone, and you are strong. If you need help, or if you would like to donate to One Place, please visit our website at oneplacefjc.org, or you can give us a call at 334-262-7378. And I mentioned the free sexual assault services that are available to children and adults. That is the 24/7 crisis hotline there, 334-213-1227 or 888-908-7273. And no appointment is required for our services, and we welcome you to stop by our agency for more assistance. If you would like to have outreach opportunities or presentations, you can also email me at dtaylor@oneplacefjc.org. Thank you so much.